YouTube, how you doing? Scapad's domain, and tonight we are going back to the world of Pandora. 13 years after we left there, Jake Sully and his comrades now fully entrenched, but these scumbag Earthmen come back with Mrs. Soprano and wants to take over the joint again, and that's where they're gonna draw the line. And we're talking about Avatar: The Way of the Water, the 2023 sequel to a movie from 13 years ago. Are people going to want to go? Cost $350 to $480 million to make this movie. And of course, to date, it's made $2.3 billion at the box office and has become the largest grossing movie of this young year. And to discuss the Pandorans and everything blue, it's Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show. Hey, Dylan, how you doing tonight?
What up, brother?
And he's got his phaser. Hallelujah, baby.
Don't
and who else do we have in here besides Dylan? Well, he's back from the closet. It's Link.
What
how
up?
Doing, Link?
I'm
How's
doing
going?
Good.
So I want to know if it's first time, second time watching for me, because I did view this in the theater, but I believe both you guys, this is the first time watching.
Yeah.
So I'll give a little thing. Oh, before I go through, it's also Rack of 40 night here, Rack of 40 night, and Sci-Fi Sojourns. So if you got a 40 ounce or crack it, it's Rack of 40
coffee.
night. So anyways, I saw this in the theater, 3 hours and 17 minutes of it. I really enjoyed this movie in the theater, and I'll discuss how I liked it watching it on video again. But in the theater, I thought that they did a very smart thing. You know, originally this movie started pre-production in 2011, and it was supposed to come out in like 2012 and 13. 2014 never came out, and then it eventually started production 2017 and came out in 2022. And you know what? I think that helped them, because I think this movie did better because of the lapse of time. They were able to set the story 13 years in the future, give Jake Sully a whole lifetime with a family growing up there, and bring in a family. And I think the fact that they made this movie more than just about the two of them, and they also got them out of the forest into a whole new environment to explore, almost like being in a whole new world. And then they found a way to bring back the bad guy from the previous movie in another great performance as an Avatar version of the bad guy. So, I mean, I thought this movie did everything it needed to do 13 years later to become a hit, and people saw that it was a hit. I mean, we even had Sigourney Weaver coming back as a younger version of the daughter.
Sure,
I think
you got Kate Winslet in it, too.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that they really got right in this movie is the inclusion of the boy who was, the son of the
Spider.
guy there. Spider, thought was a good addition, and having a little mystery behind, what's going on with Sigourney Weaver's daughter. She has some kind of mystical power. They don't know who the father is. I'm sure that will be explored. And then this second chapter just basically sets up the next movie, but still had its own story to tell.
Right.
So I was really impressed by this movie when I saw it. I think he did an excellent job.
I think it's a lot better than the first.
I saw it in 3D, and 3D was phenomenal. Now watching it at home, I will say the movie to me did not feel long at all in the theater.
Yeah.
It passed. But when you have a little bit more stuff on you and you have to stop and start, it doesn't play as well as when it was in the movies. I mean, you gave it more of your thing. So I liked it a little bit better in the movies, but I watched the 4K version on video, and I can't wait for this thing to come out in disc, because it looked phenomenal.
The disc is going to look even better, too.
The only thing that was a little wonky to me, and my only complaint, I think, in the whole movie is these guys, the way it was written with these guys coming from the forest, but then being able to stay underwater, it was a little back and forth. When the script needed them to be gasping for air and dying, they were dying. When the script needed them to be down forever.
And add water experts,
no problem.
Right.
So that was my only really problem with the movie. And they never did explain the other ones whether they had deals. I'm assuming they did.
I don't think they did. I think they just were trained to
They
breathe.
were used
They
to
were
it.
more
Yeah.
adapted.
They
They're
hold
more
Yeah.
their breath
adapted to
longer.
it.
And you have to
They could
just
swim better because of their
Yeah.
arms, but in
And then
terms
they
of
had
But I have
breathing,
no
they were
problem with
just,
that. I
tail
think
was
that
different.
these guys could stay underwater longer because they're big and they're tall. But then when the script needed them to be drowning after a short amount of time, that's what they were doing. They were, but yet they were in the earlier scenes. They were down there for a long time, and
Well,
never
because
had a problem.
they were trying to practice. They were
Yeah, it
being
was a little
trained on how to do
inconsistent.
it.
Yeah,
They
but
still are like they're not humans.
I
Obviously,
know.
they have
Right.
if
But this
they
is
had like
that's my only nit, and that's a nit. So what
Right.
did your first watching, Dylan? What did you think?
man, I did really enjoy it. I really hope they continue with this world. One of my flaws though was that he leaves the forest village to go to this water village just to bring the drama there. Where I'm like,
Well, no, he had to escape too because he didn't want what was going to happen, which is really stupid if you think about it. He didn't really
yeah,
want,
because it's gonna come no matter what. So
It's-
it's almost like they needed to go out by themselves.
right.
He's gonna bring the
Because
drama.
they don't want to. They don't want to risk their people, but they don't mind risking these water.
That's what,
people.
yeah. And I wasn't crazy about it because they're all, you know what I mean. What are they called?
Navi.
Yeah,
no,
but
they're all
that's what's
like that.
interesting about this movie is that there's different clans. There's a water
They're just
clan,
different
a forest
tribes,
clan,
yeah.
different tribes. And that's what makes it kind
So
of
what we got? Forest tribe, and now we've gotten the water tribe. I wonder.
I think
if there's gonna
he
be.
said there's gonna be like a rock tribe or some shit,
yeah.
mountain
The
tribe.
whole point of this
kind of
was
like the Black Panther, like
Yeah.
like in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
He had to get over it. You know, in this movie, this whole movie, it took him to learn at the end, oh, I can't run and I must fight. And now, of course, he'll get those two tribes and the other one, and there'll be a big. Three will be the big.
It's gonna lead to. There might be 4 tribes. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if there was like the 4 elements, you know, type of like earth. I mean, forest tribe would kind of be the earth, so there might not be a rock tribe. But
he's saying that if it doesn't go big, it's gonna get 4. If 4 movies, so that would be 2 more. That would, if it goes really big, then
this
he has
next
6.
movie is coming out next year in December because it was filming at the same time.
They shot back to back, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I was.
And then the new one, the 4th one, would be the one that might be a little bit of a gap, more than a year. But next year is coming out. The next one.
Has he said if he's doing 4 total or 6? Because
4 for sure.
He had 6 in him. But if
I could see 6. If the way these movies are doing, bro, he's
and they also planning on doing something
for months.
Yeah, he was planning on doing
unheard of now.
You could probably still go see it in theaters if you really wanted. I guarantee it.
I think I might try to, bro. I didn't get to see it in theaters.
I would have saw like IMAX 3D. You know, like
IMAX would be the way to see it.
What'd you say?
IMAX would be the way to see it, but there's none of them around there. But the 3D
how was
really
the 3D though? Was 3D like worth it?
I think so with James Cameron. Yeah,
I think it. Yeah. You know, I think Sam Worthington is a decent character. I'm a little iffy on him at sometimes because sometimes you're like, man, you could have maybe got. I know they had like Jake Gyllenhaal and like they had a few other guys that they were up for Sully, but he ended up going with kind of like a lower.
I think he did. I think he does a pretty good job.
I just think maybe you could get somebody back because I mean you got Gamora, Zoe Saldana.
She's a powerful.
Her name. She's fantastic. Yeah. She is fantastic.
Right.
Like you feel like
her energy and shit.
Like her energy, like she is like a beautiful creature. You know, when she like snarls, you're like.
Well, I think the other thing this movie had going for it too is it didn't have plot armor and everybody. It had the courage to kill off one of the sons. And I love the fact that they show as soon as her daughter's at risk, the mother goes right after the son of the sergeant. She has, and in fact, you can tell the son of the sergeant there. What was his name again? Spider. He's afraid of her because he thinks he's hiding because she might kill him. And then at the end, she has no problem with going there and using him. And
she's the one who killed him the first time.
No, I'm talking about his son.
His son.
She killed him the first time.
Well, but he still, killed the
general.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that
Foley's son dies at the. That was his son that died at the end, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking
But
about
they bring him
Spider.
back, don't they?
No.
I was confused by that
Was it
because
the
that
younger?
was
I know.
No, they bring him. They go in that. He gets sucked into the pod thing, and then they just put their tails up against the thing.
Is that like where everyone's
They're
soul
like their
lives?
heaven. It's
Heaven?
their heaven. Right.
Okay.
Their soul lives. Yeah. No, he's still dead,
Yeah.
and they kept him dead.
So did he die?
Just-
So did he die?
Yes, he died.
Yeah.
So did he die, or
Yeah.
they bring him back? He's
No,
dead?
he died. Dead.
He died.
So was it the younger son?
No, it was the
Or
oldest
the
son
old-
that died.
Yeah, the
Older
oldest son.
Oldest
The
one.
oldest son died. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the
oldest
older
one.
that. Okay. I could see that because there was a lot more emotional growth and character for the
Firstborn.
young one. I did like him a lot. There wasn't
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Old brother, young brother. They didn't give the older brother much, so it's kind of
Much to do. Yeah. Except
kind
that
of weird
moment.
that they killed him off. But I guess they wanted to keep the younger one who's more interesting, and you're kind of more because he's like going all out for his whale that he's going. What are the tulip? I loved it, but
And
then I really love the idea that they're hunting these whales to get that brain
Right.
serum or whatever
keeps them-
that
Make people
basically
live
cure
forever.
aging. You know what I mean? Like I was like that. I
Well,
was
they're
almost like,
exploiting
is
the
it-
planet in every way,
is it a
shape, and
Ridley
form.
Scott movie?
Yeah. And,
Right,
and Mrs. Soprano there says that they want to come live there. They want to eventually come live on this planet and take it over.
Right. Well, I thought maybe mentioned that something happened with their planet, and that's why they've come back.
Earth was
Because they left
polluted.
for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that they're trying to come back, and they're trying to come back fully reinforced, harder than they did the first time, and they got ran out, and they're trying to just go out. And if they get that serum, man, like he said, it's like this little serum, 80 million, but that was a big whale they had to get that from. I thought they had got a couple, jars out of that, but they just got the one vial. It was a big vial, but
Yeah.
it's a big
It's kind of
thing.
small in
Right.
comparison.
So the guys in the forest, they're
Yeah.
mining to get that mineral, and then these guys are, killing off their wildlife to get this material. So I'm sure in the next one, it'll be strip mining. It'll be something.
Yeah.
We're doing
something.
which I get that the Earthmen are assholes in this vision of a movie, but I could see it made sense they were like strip mining this planet to help Earth, to get but now that they want to come there, does it make much sense that they're continuing to? I guess so, because that's what they did to Earth.
Well,
that's what they're gonna do that.
It was more or less just I think they're stripping Earth the Avatar planet for like its resources to help stuff they already had going on, not necessarily reinforce Earth. Like maybe just like they were hunting the whales to stop their aging, and maybe they had getting other stuff to like slow, with the health effects of living on the polluted Earth like it is. It makes it a little bit more tolerable.
Because they can't even breathe. The humans, they need gas.
Well, the humans can't breathe their atmosphere.
They can't breathe the atmosphere. So that's a weird planet to want to go live.
Move to, right? Yeah.
Well, maybe they're gonna terraform it. You don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know what
that's true.
Let's say hello, Perry here. Station Perry. Jax Laws here. How you doing, too? Of course,
I was gonna say,
my man.
Real quick about the brother's death. I can see it, how it's gonna affect the younger brother in like the next movie in terms of a character arc, because his brother was kind of there to stick up in the beginning when they first went to the Water Tribe. He was like running his mouth because they were picking on his sister, but the older brother kind of came in and settled this. He was always kind of there for him, sticking up for him, even when right before he got killed. He was like, "Come on, man, we gotta go." The younger brother was like, "We gotta go get Spider." And he was like, "Man, it's dangerous. We need to just dip." And he was like, "Oh, we gotta do it." He's like, he backed him up, and he's the one that held him off, and got shot because. So that's gonna, I think, play into the guilt of the younger brother's character arc in the next movies, where he's gonna feel like he needs to step up, and it's gonna be interesting.
Well, it's also he's tied in with the young girl that's
the Water Tribe.
So something's gonna happen between them. She has some sort of power.
They're gonna probably get together, and then they'll.
You don't know what kind of power she has. She has something.
That will merge their tribes together, maybe. Because I could see eventually if you get the Forest Tribe, and then because eventually they're gonna have to get all the tribes together. I feel like, and then come together as one if they're gonna have.
Now, Now,
so what?
No, go ahead. What do you think of this plot? Just real quick. Go ahead, Steph.
What did real quick? What did they say happened to Sigourney Weaver's character? Because didn't she get reborn as a Navi at the end of the first one?
No, she died. She
died. Her
She-
human
they-
character dies, but
And she was reborn as the
Yeah, but
one,
for
wasn't
some
her
reason
Navi.
she's floating in that tank, so something's wrong somehow.
So
Okay.
what I got from this, and so I thought her human character died, like in
Right.
the human world, and like as a human, and then
Right.
still had her Navi body just floating in
Right,
like
just
a cryo
floating, that's
chamber.
right.
And then it seemed, I gotta go back and rewatch, but it made it seem like they said that out of nowhere, because they do. This is what I got. Out of nowhere, her stomach started getting bigger while she's floating in that like chamber of water.
Yeah, they don't know.
They make the joke. The brothers make a joke with Spider and shit, and because while she's in front, the daughter of her, they make a joke about fathers, and they say they're like, I wonder who.
They don't know who the father was.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy from the White Scientist? He was in
the
Hatchet movie.
Yeah, they're just
with the long hair.
Not real long, but a
they're
little.
saying maybe
The shaggy hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like maybe he banged her or something like.
But I don't think so. I think it's something.
Form. They were just making jokes, and then they throw shade because they were like, yeah, well at least it's maybe sometimes better not to know your father. Spider says that.
My guess would be that
reincarnation.
The Sigourney Weaver character was so enticed with these people that she self-impregnated herself. Would be
she reincarnated,
or that's probably what happened.
Or she self-impregnated the Avatar, not really herself. But
they that I could see that definitely happening. But it's not like it is.
Now here's interesting for part 3. What do you think if they threw a curveball? And instead of doing what they think they're going to do is, him getting together, uniting all the factions against the humans. What if the other group of Navi are with the humans, have sold out to him?
The Forest Tribe?
No, just the other one we haven't met yet. They go there and they're sold out to him. That might be an interesting curveball.
That could be. I mean,
because they have to have some sort of help. How else would they?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they need help.
I know.
That's the thing. But I mean, I could see it. I could see that them trying to like get somebody. But it depends. I feel like it's going to be like one of the weaker tribes, one of the weakest tribes that like that needs the help, where they're like, okay, this is a good fit for us or something where we can help them and I don't know, maybe coexist with them. The humans might lie and say we'll coexist together and get rid of these other two tribes, and then I guarantee the humans would end up turning on them or something.
I can see the Colonel Navi clone, kind of like trying to go to other tribes and play victim and throwing salt on Jake Sully's name and be like, Jake Sully killed all these other, pretty much putting his work on Jake Sully.
Right.
And like, we need to come together to, to stop Jake Sully. That would be kind of cool though. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think
very interested to see what they do with like 3, and because you said 3 comes out next year.
3 comes out next December, 24.
Wow.
I'm so interested because especially watching these like one by one. I feel like 1 and 2 obviously have a big year gap, but I feel like 2 and 3 is going to be a really good double feature. So I think 3 is going to take place maybe.
No, one and 2 has like a 14-year gap.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that 2 and 3 won't have that gap.
Right.
There's momentum between these.
That's
next ones.
Right, these would be right after one. Well, unless they do a time jump.
They might.
I don't think they
will.
They could do like 6 months or something. I don't think it's going to be no 14 years. No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's going to be very interesting to watch these all together once they like are all out. I think that's going to be iconic.
Good experience.
Very good experience. And like I said, even like you'll watch 1, I feel like could feel like its own movie, and then if 2, 3, and 4 are a lot closer together in the timeline, maybe they jump a few months, 6 months, a year at most. That's all I'd really want, a year at most. Then I feel like they're good to like right after the other, and that's a great watch experience. I love movies like that where John Wick 1 and 2, they like 1 ends and 2 starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 picks up right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think and before this movie came out, I would say maybe 4 or 5, a couple months beforehand, I mean, there was a lot of detractors, people saying there's no way this movie's going to flop. This is the biggest bounce. But I never count out James Cameron on anything.
No, you can't, brother.
His movies usually don't flop, and he has and once again, this movie went into the stratosphere. So
it's crazy. I was talking about this with Fable the other day. It's like James Cameron's released 3 movies in the last 25 years, and they've all become like the top grossing movies.
Yeah,
he's always surpassing himself every time, bro. Like
he puts in the work, bro. He really like is trying. He always wants to be like ahead of the technology that's going on. You know what I mean? Like the stuff he's doing, nobody else is doing. It's like, look at he put in 10 years in that.
Yeah.
I know he's not working 10 years straight, but I know he was going back and forth trying to get, he was waiting for the technology to be made, and he got this done, man. And I think 1 was fantastic. It still holds up, like CGI wise, but this one was just absolutely gorgeous, man. It was
the world was way more interesting.
I really love that they did take it to the water, because it just looks absolutely incredible and just spectacular, so gorgeous. You just want to be like, I want to go to Pandora, dude.
I was just gonna say, the way it looks in this movie is the type where you're like, man, bro, I wish that shit was real. Like, I'd straight go there. Like,
Disney's about to take advantage of that shit at one point, bro.
I like to see, although it seems like it got a little bit less dangerous. I mean, I rewatched the first movie again, and that scene where Jake Sully meets the first night down on Pandora, he meets all those like pack of wild dogs, and they circle him and they're gonna attack him. That's when his future wife, saves him. When this movie you get a similar scene, the two dogs sees the colonel and they just fucking they went that way. They want any part of him.
Well, I think it's just because in this, the first one movie was like a fish out of water type of thing, where it's like he didn't know, like he knows the ways now. He's been there for like 15 years, maybe. I don't know. How long was he there in the first one? And then I know the end of it takes place 14 years after the first one, but how long was he there in the first one? Like a year, 2?
Yeah, something like a year or 2.
Okay. So like 15 years he's been there. He's had time to, and plus he's got like the people teaching him the ways of the water, or the water tribe. So, this movie, I like that. I get with the first movies, you kind of have to set up stuff to get to this point. But I find myself kind of always enjoying sequels for the most part. Like I like X-Men 2 better than X-Men, Spider-Man 2 better than Spider-Man.
I would say this movie was paced a little bit differently in the fact that I think the first 40% of this movie is paced a little quicker. Like the first part of this movie moves faster than the last part. And that middle where they're all training, yet it's not boring. Some people say, well, gee, you got this and then it slows down, but it slows down in such a way that it doesn't feel like it slowed down that much, but it really did, and then it picks back up again at the end.
It was way better paced than the first. I was like, man, is it just because it's the hype of seeing this for the first time? But I'm glad to hear other people say it, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, bro, like it's lived up to the hype. James Cameron's done it again.
Yeah, because it would be tough 14 years later to really do it. But I really think that the 14-year layoff really helped get the story better, because you probably could have had the same story and just said 15 years later slide, and he's still living there with a family. I mean, they could have done that. But still, I just think it helps. It's more believable in the fact that we've seen that amount of time actually really go by.
Time has progressed,
both the screen and the movie.
Yeah.
So I guess Dylan's gone. So I guess favorite scenes and anything that stands out to you as far as the parts of the movie that you thought were above the others.
I would like the bond with the boy and the water creature, and how I like that whole introduction. That was a well paced scene, and how he just comes out of nowhere and saves his ass at the last minute.
This movie, I think, had a lot more world building than the first one.
Yes. Yeah. That I was going back to the like why I kind of prefer sequels sometimes, because when the sequel done right, it's like I like this explore the worlds that are already lived in and stuff. You don't need all the setup.
Ooh, bro, they could do some stuff with the sequels.
Man. Yeah,
I love sequels. Like they always do. Sequels are never as good as
the first is the best.
Well, usually they're
bro.
not. I mean, sometimes
Batman Returns. I know it's debatable, but I'm just saying sequels. There are some sequels that really
seriously, bro. Seriously.
And there's some sequels like Aliens 2, Godfather 2 that are better
Aliens.
than the original movie.
Right.
And this might be a little bit better than the first movie.
I think I agree with what Dylan said. I enjoyed it.
Because the first movie, I think that this whole family element of it gave you so many different stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they, I really think because they didn't even do like the chambers as much, where they sit in the pods and then they transfer to their bodies. That wasn't. They did it with a couple of them, like the guy who one of the scientist guys. I forget his name. It's like Joel something. He's in a bunch. He was in the first Hatchet movie.
Yeah, most of the
Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, most of the bad guys.
He might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Matrix 3, yeah.
The bad guys were putting their bodies on Earth, so you didn't have to see any of that, So the whole tube thing was only a few of the scientists. Otherwise, everybody else is, Sully now is permanently in his body. The Colonel is permanently in his body. But I hope the whole thing with him and his son is like.
Question. Yeah. They had the backups of his memory, so couldn't they just take another copy and put it into another body if need be? If that one is destroyed. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Definitely.
And I like the fact that they found a creative way of bringing that character back.
Yeah.
But the character's different than the original guy. He even says, "I'm not the same guy. I don't care. Kill him."
Yeah, I just have his memories.
They use that as a plot point because at the end, he is kind of that guy. And he might even be going a little Jake Sully now. And I wonder if maybe in the third movie he will be Jake Sully.
Yeah, because he didn't die. His son saved him.
Right. Of course, they don't know they didn't kill him. But will he redeem and become an ally?
I think they're going to go with the arc. Yeah, I like that.
Would be cool because then they could reboot him and bring
him back
and battle himself, bro. Yo, that would be sick. Like what if they made like an army or like a unit of clones of him and his like some stormtrooper or some clone trooper shit.
They all
from Star
come down
Wars
in the mechs and it's all him. Yeah. It's all him. That would be cool,
bro. That it's got potential. It's definitely got potential.
But then again, is not the fucking Oblivion story where they all came down? They were all Tom Cruises. It's the same thing. James Cameron ripped himself off.
At first, because I watched the first half and then I fell asleep a couple last week when it first came out on digital. So then I rewatched it again today. I put subtitles on because it's definitely easier because you kind of get some of the people mixed up at times.
Right.
That was the first. So I
the brothers. My bad.
No, you're good.
Now the brothers, for the first 30 minutes, I kept getting them confused as to who's the oldest, or and I finally So subtitles
and the young one I don't know because it's Sigourney Weaver's voice. I know her voice.
Right.
That surprised me a little bit. I was like, I can't. It sounded familiar, but I didn't know who it was.
That's Sigourney Weaver doing her.
It's
daughter.
The daughter.
I think they tweak her. She's trying to speak like a girl,
right.
like a young girl. I think they maybe tweak her voice a little,
right?
Because that was another sneak way of them because they love Sigourney
being able to get her,
wanting to bring her back, So that was why she got pregnant, and it's almost like a twin. I think it literally looks like a twin of her.
Yeah,
like they look.
It does.
You have to put them side by side, but they look almost exactly alike. I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it was a cool little cameo that you saw for a brief second, but Giovanni Ribisi in the video the Colonel was looking at for himself. I thought that was a cool way of him getting his cameo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did he die?
No.
In the first one?
No,
he got sent back.
Yeah, he got it the hell on. He's like, bro.
Yeah, I thought
they need to bring him back.
Maybe he'll come back because I always loved Gianni.
Well, it's kind of interesting too. I mean, the spider. Same. I don't think there was any reference to the Colonel having a kid in the first movie, was there? I don't think so.
No, that's what I'm saying. That I didn't.
So that was a way they could, do the story by saying he left his kid behind.
It just was something maybe we didn't know about. It was a bit. That was a bit weird.
Yeah, it kind of came out of there was nothing leading.
So he was banging someone on base. And then
that's what I.
Well, the thing is, though, there is a novel that comes out between this movie and the last movie where they actually where they have this Jake Sully gets his, decides to get his spirit transposed into the body, and they go more into depth on that. So maybe something happened to Colonel that. I don't know. Yeah. James Cameron does do side shit, and he'll say that counts. Go read it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Some of the stuff. But
well, it's a 14-year gap, so it might be worth picking up.
Shit, right? It's many lifetimes. Many things can change in 14 years.
So, any other favorite scenes? Or
look at Sully. That motherfucker. He had some long ass dreads.
He was a dude, bro. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he natived up.
Yeah, because they were like kind of short in the first movie. Shorter length. He had them tied up, and they are still long. Like
one thing though that I didn't really understand, where I felt like they could be like hit when they like hit that train and get it to crash. I'm like, at first I was like, why aren't they maybe trying to hit these trains and get like weapons so that they can like have the upper hand? It's like they have the upper hand with the weapons, but it's like hit them and try and get weapons for yourselves to turn against them. You know what I mean?
Instead of destroy them.
Like they might have good resources for you guys.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's what's going to happen in the next movie.
They're going to have to start
using the only one really like using his old gun and everything.
They're not really in the defend the planet mode yet.
Yeah,
I think that's being left for the next one.
They need to be
pretty close after this one, but not they weren't there yet. So, go ahead.
One another dope scene was when the ship was landing at the very beginning. How you just saw the flames shooting through the forest. That was pretty dope. That was well done.
My girl thought that might have been a dream because it was just so quick.
Me too. I was like, no way, bro. They just mass extinction.
Later after that,
killed all the animal creatures. That
had to be some forest tribe too. Like
that's what I'm saying. I was like, y'all left the forest tribe behind. Right. They might not be there no more.
They didn't kill them. They didn't. They just did the woods. And then he passed his power. They had that scene in the movie where he had to pass his. He was the leader, and he passed the leader to the other guy, his buddy there, who probably got killed, because he just left them to fucking twist in the wind. But yeah. Right. Dylan, I guess favorite scenes, favorite parts of the movie.
I gotta go with one. I might have two, but my first, I loved the younger son, Sully's son, and the whale, like his like spirit animal. I love that. I really, and that the whale, because whales are ingenious animals, so I really love it, especially with like Avatar supposed to be like kind of a higher being. They're almost like a higher being. They're so much bigger than us, and all this,
You're gonna have to watch Star Trek 4, my man.
That these guys
the whales in it.
Oh really? See, I'll check it out.
It's all the whales.
Now that they're on 4K, I definitely want to watch all of those. I have some, but I gotta get there.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy Star Trek 4, but it's really it's part of a trilogy, so you should watch 2, 3, and 4 together.
Right. Oh, I would.
But the whale part of it was really. I love how that scene I had in the opening where he opens his mouth, like you're gonna go in there, and he does. He goes right in the fucking. Of course, inside the whale it was like nothing.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. Right. He could live in there, bro.
It's all light. It's like all lit up inside, and then his like tongue comes out, and that's how he makes the connection. But it's almost like it's like a test. It's like, are you willing to give yourself for this animal?
It could be swallowed.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And, and then he gives himself to you. I thought it was actually beautiful, man.
And it was a good callback to his dad, because Jake Sully's scene where, remember, he tamed that one wild flying thing that no one else could tame.
The way they did it, because the whale that he went to was, and he plugged into, and he got the backstory of what happened, is that was the whale that was outcast because he killed the invaders. He got the. He killed them in some past, and they're all peace about themselves.
So that's why he was the left out. I was wondering who the fuck.
So that's the outcast whale. That's why he's trying to plead his case. and Sully's son's kind of an outcast, so that's why he paired him with that. It made a lot
So
of sense.
They're saying that
was
the
the
whale
whale?
killed people when they're not supposed to kill people.
Right, that's the
Something?
whale. That was him. That when he's a spirit.
But wasn't he defending them?
Talking about the
Yeah,
son
and then
was
at the end,
defending.
he's the one that defends them in the end when he comes aboard all the ships.
But wasn't he trying to defend him from in the first place, right?
No, he got outcast because originally he was the only one that went against the humans of killing them.
And they were just supposed to be killed.
At all. They were, just avoid them, and he killed the humans, and he got outcast, and that's why he's out there all by himself, and that's why Sully and him bond
automatically
together.
kind of bonded with that.
Right.
Yeah. He felt like an outcast himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and then at the end, it's a good. At the end, because his son bonded with him, they were all saved because that whale was the only thing that saved them from the people killed.
The other big one got killed.
Right.
That was a dope scene. My bad. You guys talk about the whales. Got me thinking of that dope scene
because I saw it in the theater and then I saw it here again. So it's a movie you really
I want to watch it again because you definitely pick up more on the second watch.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like they're saying these names and you're like, who is that exactly? That's why I picked up a lot more this first time being able to with the subtitles and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold up when this eventually comes out. I don't think it's coming out until November or July on.
Oh man, I pray they do a 4K for it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out in 4K.
They didn't do a 4K wasn't a thing then, but they didn't.
Right.
They got to do a 4K for the first Avatar too.
Yeah, he's working on that in True Lies supposedly, but we'll see.
Oh,
but
real quick, I want to say that
won't come out until after all of them have come out,
But when the whale, I really liked that. I'll just say that was my favorite character because when he's very very emotive for being a whale. I love to see when he's sees that the kids are all chained up, gets real pissed off and just starts swarming, attacking the boat.
Yeah. I grew up loving that movie Orca the Killer Whale. So I love Free Willy, I love
Willy, baby.
Flipper, all the stuff about animals. This one just really James Cameron really hit me with that one.
Star Trek 4 will make you cry.
Hunting the whale. I'm like, come on, bro. Tell me the Na'vi are coming in to save
me. Back up, bro. You're right.
Please. Because that was the biggest whale that they had. He was or it was a she. She was huge.
And then they killed the baby, bro.
Oh my God, bro. Salt on the wound.
Right. Yo.
God, yeah, that was tough, bro. Because I really thought those are cool, man. I love big creatures like that. And they even said these animals are smarter than us. Their brains are huge. Their neurons, and that's where that's the thing where I feel like he's like, tell them to all go, because that's what they're there for. Jake Sully, but those guys are there for the whales. Right. They're there because they're there for that juice, because they're like, this 80 million. Hunt one whale, you get 80 million. But it's how many big ones like that are you gonna get? They got a good amount, but it's those little whales can't give up that much, I wouldn't think. It's the bigger the whale, the more you probably are going to get.
Maybe they're all equally as smart. Who knows?
Maybe, yes. I guess
I would say my favorite stuff is all the stuff in the water when they're fighting with the whales coming up, protecting them, and the little crab things that come up on the ships. They walk up.
What about when Sigourney Weaver's character takes her head into those white tangle things? And it crush the ship.
Oh, that's right.
Really, almost uses them as hands. They're the tentacle. They look like
the reef shit.
And they squeeze the guys, and I was like, oh, that got a little gory at first second.
Well, that one scene too when the whale had the wire cutting the thing, and then the guy's arm goes right off, and you see him flying out, and his arm's going out, and you see blood spurting out of the arm and stuff.
That might be my other second favorite scene.
There's something satisfying about seeing his arm just flying off when he.
I really did love Sigourney.
That was the same guy. That's the same character though that's in fucking Jurassic Park. Hey, matey, cripes. You always get the Australian guy, the hunter Australian guy that was the guy's arm.
No way.
That's the
guy.
I'm not saying it's the same guy. It's the same type of character. In all these movies, they got these hunter guys. They're always Australian. And I was like, hey, mate, crikey. Blah, blah, blah.
We live in the outback, mate. Crikey.
See, I just thought of something, and I feel like because they say that they're like, you brought this to us, Jake Sully, you brought this, and in a way he did, but he didn't, because if they were hunting those whales for that,
I know, yeah,
they were hunting them no matter what.
They were coming. There was
They
a
were
matter
coming
of
across
They were
time.
coming no matter
Yeah.
what. The only thing is that they were coming directly at them and trying to torture them and like burn their village because they were looking for Sully,
Right.
and they wanted somebody to give them up. But they were going to be hunting those whales down no matter what, you know.
Well, I think that's a whole side interest. I don't think it has anything to do with the Colonel's mission. They're there to get
no. He even said
these other guys are slowly separate on their own.
Yeah, because
they're all just corporations.
Remember the whale hunter, after he squeezes, he gets the juice out, and he's like, this is like $80 million. And then he says, okay, take all the balloons off and throw them back in. He's like, and the Colonel's like, no, I want them to know it was me. He's like, I charge extra for leaving me out as bait. So he's like, they're separate. They kind of merged in just because he was like, this is a way I can maybe bring Sully out or something by doing this.
I mean, the whole planet is being exploited basically. Exactly. We haven't seen.
So I think that will be something big though with the whales and that serum or whatever. That's got. I mean, you can't just throw that.
I think that's what they came for this time. Last time they came to dig that metal out of the ground. This time they were coming just for the whales. That's what they were.
What was the metal out of the ground gonna do?
That was like vibranium or something like that, whatever they call it.
Right.
It was this. It could power. They said it could power like.
Whole It was like the world's best battery, and it. Yeah, I know. I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who knows what they're doing in the other areas? I'm sure maybe we'll see we had South Forest water where we see like snow. That's a possibility too.
That'd be a cool one. Yeah. I would like to see snow.
Of course,
world is.
They have every type of. They got those hanging mountains.
I was just gonna say tribes that live in the floating mountains and shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be a tribe of piranha people because James Cameron made a piranha movie.
Good callback.
Good callback. My favorite character, I'm gonna give. I tell you, it's close. I really do like the Colonel again because he played the part. I like him. He's very good in that. Yeah, I'm going to give it to the daughter, Sigourney Weaver. I thought her character was great. I mean, something's going on with her. She's, I think, going to be the focal point. And I thought she did pretty well, Sigourney Weaver, in that role as her daughter. And my close second would be the Colonel. He's really good. Jake Sully, as you said, he doesn't have a lot to do in this movie. He's more the outside force with all the kids. That's why they went to the family thing. And look, Sam Worthington just has to do a voice now. They all do. I mean, they wouldn't have to. He doesn't even have to be in it. The only one that was in it was fucking Tony Soprano's wife for the most part. Carmela Soprano there. Hey Tony, what you doing? Get the guns and money. But
I mean, I guess it'd be on the well. I did like the younger brother's character arc. Mm-hmm. He played that role well of trying to, because his brother, we didn't get to see much of his older brother, but he was the standard child, the firstborn, did everything right, did everything perfect. So, he was living in his brother's shadow. So I think he played that arc very well. And he had like a nice little Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy. I guess that's a Gwen Stacy moment. Mm-hmm. But that Uncle Ben as well. I guess that tragedy is that's gonna be like a catalyst for him growing in the future movies. So, the younger brother.
Oh, what's his name?
I don't know his name.
Did you just say Uncle Bill?
No, I said he's his brother died as like a Gwen Stacy. Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. Gwen Stacy moment.
Are you talking about rice? I don't know what you're talking about. in a Avatar where I was thinking Uncle Ben. There was an Uncle Ben in Avatar.
Yeah, he was. That's the name of the chief of the water tribe, Uncle Ben.
Oh, and interesting enough, the chief of the water tribe, he looked more like the fucking Submariner than the new Submariner does in those fucking bad.
No, come on now. Yeah, I was gonna say he.
Thank you, bro.
I'm on the best. Anyways, so Dylan, Dylan, your favorite character there, Dylan.
I think I said probably the sun or the whale. The whale, man. The whale took my heart away.
Yeah,
the whale and
they stole the
sun,
show.
Man. The whale and the sun, their bond was just, I love stuff like that, where you like imprint on an animal,
Right.
willing to do anything for it, as it will be willing to do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's like a beautiful, beautiful man, like relationship. And I think that
for
what,
right. For what we think it means, well, I just think it's the same, similar as the last one. It's you're one on one with nature. You're the way you bond to the earth and the way people are going out to exploit it, and how
like one on one with the wild
ecology.
That's not. I wouldn't consider like a whale a part of nature, really.
They're part of the world. They're part of the balance of nature. The animal and ecosystem.
I think like one with I don't know. It's still like a wild.
I get what you mean.
It's still like a wild whale, just like the animal that his father had to tame was a wild animal, So I look at it as more like one with like the wild, if anything. I guess, but it is nature is a part of it too. But I think that's when it comes with hunting.
Well, the big thing was same thing last year, how he's showing the humans as the spoilers, the people coming in and ruining what they had. Now they're going to go out and ruin what other people have, and the whole the American Indian type of equation to the whole thing. So it's still that from the first movie still holds over to this one, and they add, I think, an extra level of more like bonding with animals and the planet and stuff to it.
Yeah.
So
and the water is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Adds a whole new level to it. I mean, the forest stuff was really cool too.
Yeah. There's something about the water world, bro. It's just beautiful. It's
just so gorgeous. Like
and it was something different,
destiny to go to.
I don't know if I would have wanted another whole movie set in the Forest of Pandora. I think that would have been boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just almost like like the Lord of the Rings movie where they're just fucking walking up the mountain for fucking 3 movies. Enough already. This is like just something different and moving on to a whole different area. So I think that really helped the movie.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And not only that, I think that even with the scenic change, I think there were like even the first with the themes of the first and second movie. First one's kind of like I don't want to say edgy sci-fi movie, but it's more like sci-fi action. This one was sci-fi, had its action, but it was more family oriented, which I thought was a real cool.
Right, well, they brought the family in, and I think they tried to skew it to a little bit younger demographic.
Which is cool.
They may not be interested in the first movie really because they see but now they're bringing that in. So I definitely think bringing the family in was as I said, the best thing that could happen.
Yeah, I
had to move forward.
I didn't think he was gonna go that route. I'm not mad that he did, but it's cool to see that he could do that so seamlessly, and it still feels connected to, even though the vibe really kind of changed. It's more adventurous in a way, where the first one's like futuristic sci-fi.
I think if he came back and it was just the Earthmen come back and now we're battling them again, that would have been boring.
Yeah,
Yeah. And favorite scene, I said to favorite scene. Well, one of the favorite scenes I like, probably the best one in the movie, is when the Colonel Avatar crushes his own skull. That was awesome.
That was
there's something satisfying about that.
That was cool.
And you just saw the dust fall from his hands. So.
Hell yeah!
And he sees her arrows in him. Yeah, it's in the thing I put in the thing too. I think it's an important scene because he really, we saw Jake's. But let's face it, I think we saw the whole Jake wanted to get it on with him and be done with it. I think he really wants to kill his wife more than he wants to kill.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hates her.
Yeah, I think he really hates her.
Yeah, because he's kicked his ass.
I think he's a bit scared of her in a way.
Well, she killed him.
She's the ultimate.
I kill you again.
I think that's how he thinks. If I kill Sully, that's how I get to her.
Get back at her.
Then I get back at her.
Yep.
Because I think he is a little shaky about. But now he's like, I'm an avid. I'm
predicting a heel turn. I'm predicting a heel turn.
Now he might be able to take his wife now, or Sully's wife.
Well, that's the thing. If he heel turns and he becomes a good guy or trying to be a good guy, will she still want to kill the guy? I mean, he did kill his son.
I'm sure there's gonna be.
No,
No, he didn't. He's not the one that pulled the trigger. But I mean, it was one of his army dudes. But he's the one who kind of set that shit in motion. So it falls on his shoulders.
But will we get a whole
That's gonna be
Negan
tough.
redemption arc
That's
here?
gonna be. I wonder if they will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see it happening.
Somehow the son and him are gonna be like out in the forest by themselves, and they're gonna get a bond, and then he's gonna be like, we need to go help them or something, and then maybe he's gonna grow some sentiment towards his son and try to be a father to Spider. You know what I mean? So then maybe he decides, I'm gonna help my son, and these are the people he grew up with. These are his family.
Well, also plus the longer he's in that body. He's in it, that guy's in it for good. He can't be extracted out.
Exactly.
So he's going to become more like them. And that's the whole thing that happened to Sully. So it just takes a little bit longer. So.
And I think his son Spider is going to help him get
let's
there.
Be face it.
I think his son Spider will help him get there.
Joy Saldana as the blue woman, I'd tap that. I mean, I'm just saying, she's hot. There you go. So how many now? Let's raise them, boys. We all got one. Mine's black though. Yours is not.
I know, you son of a gun.
Oh, you had to be.
You had to have the black one.
I got the King Phaser, baby.
Is that what it is?
It is the King.
I'm gonna spray paint my black.
I know.
But mine doesn't make any noise. You guys make noises. Fire them off.
Why is yours black and not green?
This is kind of
you got the lights on, son?
No, you could change it. There's like 3 different settings.
There we go. That's kill.
I think I like the blue one the best.
How do you turn the light on?
I think you turn the tip on the end.
There's a knob on the side, and then there's something here that you change for like.
Okay.
I should have sent Steph the operational manual for that.
Oh, I think I've seen it.
It's weird because you would think that
there we
go. Feels like a fake button, but no, you can actually twists.
All right, so now both you boys hide that so your kids don't.
Sorry, Ashton. All right.
I told Steph I want him to go outside, and I find out he got shot.
Yeah,
you keep it in my waistband.
Yeah, not a good idea, man.
You didn't give me a holster to put it in.
The cop will say, "Hey, that phaser was set to kill."
Yeah.
I
had it on low beam.
I know.
Right. It's done.
All right, so go ahead. We'll start with Steph. How many phasers you giving this? Fine.
It was a stun. I had it on stun.
Stun mode. I will. The first one I respect it, but I kind of thought it was overhyped. Like I always thought that I respect it, but I can't believe it's not more of a thing that people don't recognize it as an adult version of Ferngully. But this one was its own world. It lived, I see the potential. This one makes the first one better in hindsight because you could, but it's always best to get some setup, which was the first one was. You can't have this point in the second movie.
Yeah, some of the stuff was in the first one, but it's elaborated on here, I guess.
Right. And so with this world being more lived in, I did appreciate the family character, the element more. Sam, I agree with Dylan. Like Sam Worthington's a little hit or miss. He's not the strongest, most appealing actor to really be drawn to. Like, he plays his role well, but it's not anything groundbreaking to, really pull
pretty low
forth.
Key.
Yes. But the family element definitely added. It was a cool addition that I didn't see coming, and I appreciated that. I like the whole. It's more adventure. It was more fun, like you said. They were trying to appeal to a younger demographic, and they pulled off seamlessly.
Like a savior in this one, like
right.
Like he didn't really have that big.
He was just kind of a dude. Yeah. And I respected that.
The first one, he's supposed to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he's just the leader. He's not like a god or anything like that.
And honestly, I feel like he's not even really a leader.
Well, he wasn't.
Because he's out of his element at this point.
He's gone. He was not the leader anymore.
So I feel like I'm putting on his sons, like
if the next. Ooh, I could see that. That's why they got 4 movies. That's a big good trajectory.
I could see, Sully going out, and then it.
They could maybe not in the next one.
Maybe
but
one
the
more
next
movie for Sully, and then his sons take it over, and then
then
they have a family in the 5th one or something.
And his son is voiced by Sam Worthington.
Right, yeah.
They say people all the time, just change the fucking animation. Cheap bastards.
The first one is like a 4.5 for me. I'll give this one a 5 just because while watching this, maybe it was like, man, I wish I would have saw this in theaters, or and just had me invested the entire time. Even at home, I know it's easier to get distracted, but I was just kept thinking to myself, like, God damn it, James Cameron.
In the theater than I was at home. I tell you that.
I can imagine that. I mean, the theaters are designed to focus your attention. You're in a dark room with a fucking 100-foot screw. I don't know how it's.
Right. Well, no way. I mean, the movie's runtime too. I mean, 3 hours and 19 minutes is a long time to be sitting there at home and not something happening. When you're in the theater, you're stuck there, you're watching that movie, you gotta be there. Right.
Committed to it.
I felt like it was pretty good pacing at home though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Never dull movement.
Right. So I do. This was a good one. It was it's got all elements. Well, the first one's good, but this one definitely hits all the right notes. I like the world building is a lot more explored in this one. Had me hyped for the next movie. So I'll give this a 5.
I know, man. I'm hyped for the next movie. I can't believe I didn't know it was coming out next year too.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
So Dylan, what do you think?
They filmed 2 and 3 back to back. So what about 4? Right now it just goes to 5.
4 is gonna be about a year or 2.
Okay. They're filming 4 now. Or in between.
They're in post-production of the 3rd one now. So.
Oh, okay. The first one I might give I'd probably give like a 4, like Steph said. I'm debating on a 4.75 or 5 right now.
It's strong.
So I think it's I want to watch it again to see because right now I would just give it a 5 to be honest. But I feel like there is maybe a small flaw or 2 in it, nothing major, just kind of like how I said, where it's like, he goes to this one tribe and then he goes to another tribe thinking that's going to save everything. But I thought that, but then they were coming for them no matter what. And I feel like that might be like how it was meant to be because
a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, literally, because they would have killed the forest tribe and then they would have just killed that tribe anyways. Instead, he leaves the forest tribe, so they are saved. Because you want to hold them off for one of those sequels when they got to come back and bring them into the fold and bring that big Bobby. So I feel like everything will have its reasoning. You know what I mean? I think in the sequels to come, I think more things will line up. That's why I think watching these all together once they are all out is going to be amazing. I think I'll go 5, man. I'm gonna go 5 right now because I think I'm gonna pick up so much more next viewing, and I think just us talking, I picked up a bunch more, and we were talking about future things and just stuff that was going. And I think, man, I thought we had a really good convo about everything, and I think there's even more, after because this is just us. Me and Steph watched it once. Scapad seen it twice, so he was able to tell a little bit more that we might not have picked up on, and then we were just running with it. So I think it was a hell of a
time. And if a movie can make you want to visit it, be like, damn, bro, I wish I could go there. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's just such a beautiful movie. And that's another reason why it's got to get a 5, just because the first one is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love how they make the forest look and with the big tree. But this one was just this is your
a lot more animals, a lot more creatures.
Dream location, man. It was like a sanctuary. It's literally a sanctuary. You know what I mean? Just beautiful, man. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was just
beautiful. I was gonna give it a 4.75, but I'm pretty much it's gonna be a 5 for me. I mean, I think the overall with the whole package between the acting, the effects, the story, it was never really boring. Nothing really could have been cut out. I thought everything had its place. Yeah, I love how they, as I said, deviated and brought the kids in and went into their stories and their world building, and it just to me it was just a great movie. So I'm gonna give it a 5. I would give Avatar 4, and this would be a 5. I think this is
that's strong. Absolutely.
I think the one
the backstory is a little better. The whole story is a little bit better.
You know, when 4 first came out, we were probably like 4 or 5 or something, but now it's this one just really. I'm like,
it had pulled at the heartstrings a little bit more.
I'm glad they waited. I'm glad that I don't care that it took 10 years. Now we're gonna get another one next year, and then probably we'll get the 4th one in a year or 2 after. Mm-hmm. Like now we're not gonna have to wait 10 more years for all
good pacing.
So it's like it like I'll be.
I'm really glad that everybody that was really ragging on this when it first came out, it's gonna bomb, it's gonna be a terrible movie.
Yeah.
And even when it was in theaters, they were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be." But I mean, the movie went on. It's a movie that everybody likes and they like the characters, they like the story because look at what it did again.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the biggest movie of the year, 2.3 billion. I was
gonna say
worldwide.
It stayed in theaters longer than anything else. Everything else,
I don't think it was
like a month of done.
And the thing is,
even Scream is about to be on digital on the 25th.
Yeah,
of April.
I don't think this movie was that hyped either. This movie wasn't really overly hyped.
No,
this is another good thing
because people were very nervous. They're like, this has been so long, But I just knew that even I was like, maybe the story won't be great, but I know it's going to be gorgeous. I know it's going to be a beautiful movie.
This man said he had to. What's that?
I was going to say the movie was gorgeous, but I think the story was good.
Oh yeah. I agree with that. I think the story, there was something there, like I said, the family element really, everyone can relate to a family element. Exactly. We all have family. Exactly. So he did a good job with that. But I think it's crazy that he said that he had to make like a certain billion to make a profit, which I thought was crazy, bro. I was like, you're risking a lot in these days at a theater for a movie to make that. And the man did it.
After all we went through.
Yeah, and he did it and surpassed that shit. Like it's just wild what James Cameron is capable of.
I kind of wish. I mean, I want to get more Avatar movies, but I kind of almost wish we didn't because this is obviously taking him away from doing other things. I think he could really do a lot. He's not that old. Well, no. We get more original movies from him because he gets tied down in sequels a lot, and they're good, but that does stop him from doing different things.
Yeah,
he hasn't really done anything since.
No, in the last 25 years, he's he's only done 3.
Yeah, Titanic was in the late 90s. So
True Lies, and then he did Titanic.
Since Avatar, he hasn't really done anything.
In the 2000s, the only movies he's done is Avatar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he takes so much.
Obviously, I know he's done a lot of other stuff, like Terminator and all that,
Yeah, so that I think so you said that they're filming part 4 right now? Or?
He did the screenplay for Alita Battle.
He was supposed to direct that. So back in 2005,
that did.
Yeah,
that would make sense because of the way that movie's made, that he would have a hand in making that.
Well, and supposedly they've also said that he wants to do like a 6 to 8 episode show on Disney Plus, set between movies or based on Avatar. Like it's a mini-series story that he wants to do.
And he's really going all out for this world.
He was but
I could see him maybe executive producing that and giving that to somebody else, maybe. But
I mean, I could see him directing it. His TV series wouldn't be too strenuous compared to his movies, especially if it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be as epic as the movie. No. So I could see him doing that. But no, he was been supposed to direct Battle Angel. I remember reading on Bleeding Cool News back in like 2005. He was deciding on whether he wanted to do Alita or Avatar, and then he said, if whichever one I do, I'll do the next movie next. And he did Avatar, and it was a fucking hit. And he's been with Avatar ever since.
We'll have to probably maybe sometime in the next couple of months do Battle Angel and Alita.
Have you seen it?
That's a great movie. Yeah, it's really
okay. Yeah,
and it's a movie that unfortunately people will go see. We're not gonna get a sequel to it, but man, I wish it did better because that's such a great movie. And they had
did it bomb in the box office?
Pretty much bombed.
I saw that in theaters.
I thought it was. I like it.
It did okay too. And
You
I wish
get
they
it
would
on
do.
Blu-ray for like $5 though.
I wish they would do another one, but probably not going to happen. But they left the story open. It was such a good friggin' movie.
It might have. I thought
very
I
underrated.
Raves though about it because I kept hearing about it and I was like, okay, I'll check this out.
Because you know what it is?
A big world with that as well.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like a Dread, where it's like people, people talk so good about the movie, but for whatever reason, it just did not make the buzz at the box office. It would probably be a cult favorite.
It feels like an anime live action movie.
Yeah.
It is. Alita, what is an anime?
Sometimes make these Polar Lights type characters, Polar Express type characters with like big eyes, where people get scared of that shit. Like that guy was scary looking, man. It's still like they look real, but they're not quite real. But it's got something off-putting about them. I don't know.
I think the anime is just called Battle Angel. I don't know if it might be Alita Battle Angel, but I know it is based off an actual anime that James Cameron's a big fan of.
Yeah. All right, well, that's I guess we got about 5, so we don't have to do any past 69 stuff. Although maybe they would do 69. Who knows? They did 69 with Sigourney and got her pregnant, so we don't know who that is. Get your phases out, baby.
Yeah. Maybe,
so I'll thank
maybe Maury will come on one of the episodes.
Maybe he'll gave us a 4.5 too.
And tell us who the father is.
So Perry, Jax, Two Gun, thanks for stopping in here. Next week we're back to a movie where we'll all be saying at the end of it, "What the fuck just happened?" It's 2010. The year we made Contact, sequel to 2001. We were all at the end going, "What the fuck happened?" This one we won't be doing.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen this one either.
So 2001. It's on HBO. I think it's on HBO Max. It's around.
Oh, 2001.
2010 is what we're doing next week. We're doing a sequel to 2001. 2010, the year we made Contacts with Roy Scheider. So make sure you watch that.
I know you said the Blu-ray was on sale, but it wasn't on sale for that cheap. It was like,
but it's around. You can watch it. It's streaming.
Yeah.
So 2010.
I can't. I love Roy Scheider.
2010, Roy Scheider. It's a great, interesting movie, as was the first one. Not quite as convoluted, though. It's kind of like if what's his face, the guy who did that movie, 2001 was
Kubrick.
Kubrick is like 2010 is 2001 without Kubrick, basically.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But it's still a good movie. So, well, thank everybody for coming in for Avatar tonight. And then the end of the week, we have another possible sighting of a Twilight Zone show. We'll see. And then that'll be Friday. And then Saturday, we're doing double feature, aren't we?
Critters 1 and 2, baby.
Wow. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say
Critters 2. I keep thinking Invisible Maniac. But no, it's Critters 1 and 2 because Easter Sunday is next week, and Critters 2 is literally takes place on Easter. The movie does. So I was like, I didn't want to just do Critters 2. I felt, and because those two kind of collide, where it's like one, and they're a perfect double feature. So I was like,
I tell you though, if you had decided to do the entire franchise, I would have slipped my wrists.
There's more. They made more than.
They made like. There's 4, and then they made a 5th one like a few years back. But the first 2 are the best. The first two are good.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 are.
I'm gonna have to check down the sequels.
And if you like Gremlins, you're gonna like them.
Gremlins.
Have you seen Critters before?
They had Critters.
I've seen the first 2.
They had
long ago.
And they had Hobgoblins. What were the other ones they had? Spookies?
I told you to get Hobgoblins, bro.
Oh, I ain't done nose goblins.
They had Hobgoblins, Ghoulies.
I got nose goblins.
Munchies.
Yeah, they had Munchies. Yeah, I know they had more than that.
They might have, but I don't know. I just knew Gremlins,
Spookies,
Critters. Joe Dante even says Critters is the best one. There's Gremlins, Critters, Ghoulies, Munchies, and then what was the other one I said? The Hobgoblins. There is probably 1 or 2 more, but they probably even worse.
They tell Rob you could be doing Munchies and then.
Yeah. Hobgoblins, baby. Hobgoblins. I want that. I want to pick that Blu-ray up. It's probably sold out by now, though.
I don't know. I know Ren and Stimpy's got nose goblins. You ever see those?
Yeah, I've heard of some nose goblins.
Oh my god.
All right, so we'll catch you next week for 2010. I'm dying. Hold on. My puffer.
We'll see you next Saturday. This upcoming Saturday for the horror show. And then
that's right. And maybe Friday. And then I think Robbie's not back till next Monday. I don't think he's on tonight.
Oh no, he's not.
Next Monday. So
yeah, no, Two Gun. They made 4, but then they did a 5th one called Critters Attack like 5 years ago. They also did a Shudder exclusive show, which is
Critters
off. Yeah, it's like I forget. It's called Critters something, but that you have to watch. It's fucking crazy. But they're like 3-minute episodes.
Oh, they're short
episodes.
It adds up to like an hour or something. I forget. Or like 50 minutes.
Like a little special, an hour special.
Yeah, it's worth watching though. But yeah, it dives into some funny ass shit. It's worth watching just to waste an hour. But yeah,
is there any boobies in it?
It'd be fun. Leonardo DiCaprio made his movie, his Hollywood appearance.
Yo, yes.
Baby.
Well, DiCaprio's in it. It's gotta be good.
I think it was 3. It could be 4 though, but I think it was 3.
Yeah, I think it was 3 as well. I'm not 100%. I'm like 90.
All right, everybody, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us on Rack of 40 night. Hope you drank one. I always get a 40 ouncer. And Phaser night, 5 stars.
Up with your phaser.
5 stars, baby, for this movie. And we'll catch you next week. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We will catch you later.